Hi, this is Britt Dahlbeck, and this is my video blog for Counseling 521. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the MASC2, which is the Multidimensional Anxiety Scale for Children, the second edition. Both of these editions were done by Dr. John Walsh. One was in 1997 and the other was in 2012. The Multi-Health Systems Incorporated website, which is the publisher, who I will refer to as MHS in this video, describes the MASC2 as assessing a broad range of anxiety symptoms in children and adolescents. One of the key features of the 2012 test is it's a comprehensive multi-rater assessment that gives increased perspective by having parent and youth raters. It assesses the range and severity of anxiety symptoms and uses 6 scales and 4 subscales to give detailed information about emotional, physical, cognitive, and behavioral symptoms. Assessments are represented numerically and graphically and compared to the normative samples, and elevations in both the scale and the subscales are shown. Politz et al. Says early treatment for anxiety disorders in youth is important because if left untreated, many persist into adulthood. Suggested uses for this assessment include early identification, diagnosis, treatment planning, as well as progress monitoring. One of the touts of this test is the progress monitoring that measures changes over time. Population that this serves is 8 to 19 years old with at least a 3rd grade reading level. It's a 50-item test, self-reported test that takes about 15 minutes to complete. The reliability for this test was shown using Cronbach's Alpha, and it is strong at 0.89 for the parent total score and 0.92 for the youth self-report total score. There's a high retest reliability with an interval of 1 to 4 weeks between tests at 0.93 for the parent score and 0.89 total for the youth score. MHS says that there's a strong discriminant validity between those who have been diagnosed with separation anxiety, generalized anxiety disorder, or social phobia, and the normative sample group. MHS says that the MASC2 can accurately distinguish between clinical and non-clinical groups, as well as specific diagnoses. Norming samples includes 1,800 self-report and 1,600 parent reports, represents U.S. and Canadian populations of children and adolescents. MHS reports that age, gender, ethnicity, race, geographic region, and parental education were also taken into consideration and weighted to match the U.S. and Canadian populations. There's also a clinical sample collected of 824 youth between 8 and 19 who had diagnoses of generalized anxiety disorder, social phobia, separation anxiety, panic disorder, OCD, depression, and ADHD. There are 2 forms, a youth form and a parent form, and both can be administered online or in person with pencil and paper. All of the formats can be scored online using the MHS Assessment Center or by scoring software. The cost of the manual is $104, and the self-report form for youth is $3.75, and the parent form is also $3.75. Complete kits can be bought that include the online scoring software and reports for $261 and a hand-scored version for $230. The credentials for this test include a level B, which is suggested a graduate level training or in psychological measurement and testing to be able to interpret the testing results. What I would like to know more about for this test is other validity data and specific content, as well as cultural norming data for the clinical group. I would also really like to assess another anxiety assessment, which was the SCAS child version, and compare these 2 tests before I would be comfortable making a decision between them. Thank you.